Welcome back to Bay Sunny, everybody. Our next guest has taken a journey that many have taken before, but not in such a public way. A gay man wrestling from within on coming out while his political career was soaring. City councilman and then mayor of Tempe, Arizona. He chronicles his life story and the struggles in his book, The Campaign Within, A Mayor's Private Journey to Public Leadership. He would later become the chairman of the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation and is currently the CEO of the San Francisco AIDS Foundation. Please welcome Neil Giuliano. How are you?
Well, thank you for having me.
Welcome aboard.
Great to be here.
A lot of men and a lot of women have gone on this journey before, but not so many in such a public way.
Not so many while they're holding public office in Arizona.
And you hadn't come out yet.
I had not when I was first elected, no.
And you were a Republican.
I was a registered Republican, elected in nonpartisan elections, yes.
How difficult was that to have this secret within when there were whispers and such?
Oh, sure. It was challenging. It was challenging personally. I thought it would be devastating politically. It ended up not being so. But that inner journey is something so many gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people deal with and live with. I thought it would be important to share that story and perhaps help some other folks who may be going through the same thing and help them understand that they too, if they want, could get into a public life and serve in public office.
Were you surprised when you did come out that it's like, why didn't I do this a long time ago?
Yes, you know, we have this invisible line that we think is going to be so hard to cross. And then when we do cross over that invisible line, we realize it really was invisible. Right. And the support really was there. Of course, you're always going to have your adversaries. My political adversaries, of course, seized on it, did everything they could to try to tear me down. But we persevered and were able to have a real strong base within the community for the things we wanted to accomplish.
Okay, I'll throw a date, July 18th, 1996. You're the mayor of Tempe, Arizona. You're at a city council meeting, holding court.
Right.
And someone stands up.
Someone stands up. We had been debating an issue with regard to funding the LGBT Pride Festival, which was held on some of the soccer fields, had been held in the town for a long time. And he stood up and he basically said, "We know one of you leads this lifestyle, and we want you need to be exposed." And you know, that was sort of the crescendo building of actually coming out. And in fact, what those very conservative folks did was they really helped me on my journey.
Right.
They gave me a little bit of a push because I was kind of comfortable being half in, half out, and just it was sort of a don't ask, don't tell situation in the community. People knew. People knew to the fact that when I finally did come out publicly later that summer before Labor Day weekend, the lead story in the newspaper was ending years of rumor and speculation. So it was not a real big secret, but it was something that I just had to deal with and get over with.
Obviously, that was a crescendo right there. It was a watershed moment. But what ultimately, did you just struggle with it for another month or two and say, I got to do this?
Yeah, and talked to some of my political advisors and sort of thought about it internally and was waiting for sort of when's going to be the right time to do this. And the right time actually came when I received an anonymous voicemail on both my cell phone as well as the mayor's office number. And the woman on the other end of the line said, "The time has come. We're coming to the council meeting this week. We're going to ask you point blank if you're a homosexual," and this is what put them over the line. "And we're going to ask you about the employee who works in the water department, and we understand that there's a woman in the police department who are all homosexuals." And I thought, okay,
enough.
I signed up for this. I'm an elected official. I'm a politician. You don't go after city employees. No. You're not coming to a city council meeting and starting asking those kinds of questions.
Right.
So at the next meeting, I put out a statement, and at the next meeting, it was all public. And
you also got a phone call from Barry Goldwater, who was shortly before he passed away.
Yes.
A mentor, a friend.
A friend, yeah.
And
a friend
what did he
Arizona.
say? It was brief, but it was touching.
It was interesting. It was actually at an event. We had a phone call, but then we saw each other at an event, and he said, "I've been reading about you in the newspapers." This is when it was all sort of public. And I said, "Yes, Senator, there's, folks are talking a lot." And he said, "Well, don't let the bastards get you down," which is classic Barry.
That's total.
It was
Barry
classic
Goldwater.
Barry. And he was very supportive and a real good friend.
And your mother, you had a very tender conversation before she passed away from cancer.
Right.
What was her advice?
She wanted to basically know if I was going to be okay. She wanted to know if I thought I would ever be treated equally like everyone else, and I told her I thought that we would, because people like her who were straight allies would really begin to stand up with us. And then, of course, she asked the thing that only a mother on her deathbed can get away with, which is, do you think you'll meet someone so if this sometime you get sick, you won't be alone? And I said, I'll keep working on that, Mom.
There you go. We're all working on that, aren't we?
We are.
So nice to meet you.
My pleasure,
All the
Frank.
best with the book.
Thank you.
If you'd like more information, you can log on to campaignwithin.com. That's it for this week's edition of Bay Sunday. We're back next week. In the meantime, have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday.